Hi, welcome back to my channel. So, for today, I'm going to share with you regarding a topic that is relevant to this week's celebration. Actually, this week's celebration is Independence Day. So, June 12 is the Independence Day celebration of the Philippines or our country. But I'm not going to talk about how our country attained its freedom, but I'm going to discuss to you some um, point of views of people in different kinds of generation. So if uh, you would allow me, I'm going to share different types of generations and how they perceive Independence Day. So I was able to randomly ask people or with their generation. So just to give you an idea, our generation grouping, uh, as we say, we have the greatest generation, or these are the people who were born 1901 to 1927. We also have the silent generation who were born 1928 to 1945. We have the baby boomer generation. So uh, these are the people who were born 1946 to 1964. And then we have the generation X, where I am part of it. So Generation X are born 1965 to 1980. And then we have the Millennial Generation. Millennial Generation are born 1981 to 1996. And then we have the latest, the Generation Z or the iGen group. They are born 1997 to present. So let's talk about more of independence, as I've mentioned. So I um, was able to have the chance to ask some people in these different groups or generation. So let me first discuss how generation Z or the I generation now perceive independence. So for them, they say that independence is actually letting them feel like a little nervous at first because the word itself is something that they are not yet ready or something that they are not yet knowledgeable. And then because when you say independence, they say it as like they need to live alone, and then they can actually experience a little independence when they are already studying or when they are given some amount to budget. So that is already independence for them. And then they also uh, told me that independence is like something that they really need to learn because not every time or not forever that they will be with their parents. So that is how uh, young people right now, very young people right now perceive independence. Besides from the fact that it is part of honoring your country and promoting your country. So next one, let's move on to a little uh, older than the Generation Z. So they are the millennials. Millennials perceive or interpret independence as searching their own path, and they need to be grounded in many ways. It is also something that they are or they should be allowed to flow and find their substance. So that is independence for them. And also, it's something that they can already live alone, and they said that um, they can already decide on their own. So that is how millennials would perceive independence. Okay, let's move on to the Generation X. Generation X is I am part of it. So let me see if we have the same insights with those who have I have interviewed regarding independence. So they said that during their time, or they see it that um, during their time, independence for them is not being so strict, but not so liberated also, because during their time parents are mostly busy at work, and they were able most have their own ate or nanny inside the house. So they were told to always be independent at school, and to do it on their own, and to strive to stand alone. So that is how Generation X would perceive independence. And I also agree with those people who I've interviewed when it comes to independence. So let's move back to the group where the baby boomer generation. So usually these are our parents, okay? Our parents, the parents of the Generation X. So baby boomers before, they follow their own dreams, okay, and aspirations in life, and they are compelled to study hard, work hard, so that they will be able to alleviate their family from the financial burden. Also, during their time, independence for them is limited, because majority of parents then, or elders then, were very strict, and they are not that given the encouragement because of the strictness of the elders, and they are not really uh, given the chance to express freely themselves. Okay? So they're also dependent on their parents' advices. They are also those group who stay with their parents, and they are obliged after that to give back to the parents. So, for example, if this generation before, independence can be also associated to marriage, because during their time marriage is something that is submissiveness to their partner or to their husband. So that is how they perceive independence during their time. And the oldest that I was able to conduct this interview, or yes, opinion regarding independence, is born 1925. So she is, this person is actually my grandmother. So she's already 97 years old. So I was able to ask her how she perceives independence during their time. So independence for them during their time is really working hard, believing in what your parents would say or advise. And also you have really to believe in God. Parents has many restrictions during their time, and respect is very important to everyone. So I am not telling now that this is a standard answer. So I just randomly asked each generation group, or persons who belong to this generation, and on how they perceive independence. So there are no wrong answers. There are no perfect answers for this, because this is an open idea. So thank you so much for listening. But I want to quote something that as that a very young person in the group of the Generation Z, or the iGen, mentioned to me regarding independence. So independence, as I quote, independence for this person, for this young person, is wearing a bracelet over handcuffs. Bracelets are for keeping close and occasionally looking back for when you've lost a bead or two. Handcuffs have the marks of a keyhole, urging one too long for an escape. Though bare hands function a great deal, independence suggests something to wrap around your wrists, heavy enough to keep you grounded, but light enough to turn your footsteps flight. So this young person is actually my nephew. So I think that the I generation are really I generation. They are very intellectual, yet they also have something that is really deep and meaningful for them when it comes to independence. So I hope everyone who is viewing right now or who will view this vlog would learn something about independence. So, happy Independence Day, everyone, and I hope that we use our freedom in the best way possible, that we could contribute to our loved ones, to our for the whole nation, and of course, especially to our country. So, bye bye. Thank you for listening.